Okay, this is part 4 of my intro to FSS, standard visual pinball table, whether it be FS or desktop. So I was going to move on. I got a lot to cover here, so I'm just going to start talking a little faster and doing things a little quicker. So just to recap, we're just going to show what the table looked like on the last video, the end of the last video. And in this video is going to be about adding the lights, flash lamps in the back of the back glass, adjusting more the table lighting, and so that everything will be prepped for the sixth video, which is day and night adjustments, so that you can change the lighting to either a daylight intensity, or more local lighting, just a table lighting when it's dark. So let's get a move on here. We're going to adjust this table a little more. Obviously raise the area lights, flashers higher, so that we don't get these bizarre anomalies. Well, not anomalies, but what's the problem here is that the table is a certain height, but these models are actually higher than the table, and so it's cutting off sections. So we're going to raise that, but in doing that, it's going to create another problem, and then we're going to have to fix that too, is that the edges will become more, you can see a little bit of it here, but now it'll be a lot more accentuated, and we're going to have to do something special, a special tweak to get rid of that. And it's inevitable, like I said, because of the models. Most of the time, the models fit within, most of the time, they're just, right on the cusp of the edge of the tabletop, but here they're quite higher by a huge amount, higher than the tabletop. So we have to do a few special things to fix that, and then we'll do the backglass bulb lighting. So let's get to do that. First thing we're going to do is, I should be showing this in the sixth video, but I need it right now so that I can adjust more the tabletop lights, so I don't have to do it twice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Control Copy C, Control V, copy the full size tabletop flasher, and I'm going to give it the full spectrum of light, not just the blue, and not the blue channel, and I'm going to put that up, to 100, restore back to 100, and you're going to see that now the table will be very lit, in fact overlit, and we're going to adjust a few more things to accommodate for that. But you're going to see the table lighting is a lot better. You can see the influence of the blue channel, and here is the tungsten, sort of orange influence. Obviously, everything's over bloomed. The table lights, just too much bloom. So we're going to fix all of that. The one thing is the new texture that I added, I'm going to reduce that to 1, and that's going to stop that bloom. And the other thing, I'm going to go to the blue channel, which I think is texture 3, yeah, and I'm going to restore that back to 100, because I had set it originally to 80, and then brought it up. Wait a minute, no, I set it originally to 100, and then I brought it down to 80, and now we're going to bring it back up to 100. And that I did that in the last video. So we're going to see what comes of this. It's probably going to be better. Definitely there will be no longer any blooming of the light. So there's a slight diminishing in general of the table lighting, and the blooming is considerably dropped. Okay, so now we're going to adjust the height of those flashers, those area lights, so that we can now see. I can't remember this guy's name. Larry? I can't. Anyway, so I'll pick all of these up, these flashers up. We got 4. So take 1, 3, and 2. So we have the 4. And now we're going to bring this way up. And I know already it's at least in the 400s. So we're going to check that out. And then we're going to have to do one more tweak. And like I said, I don't normally do this to all the tables, but this one requires it. So there we are. Yes, his head's in there. Good. Homer's top of his head is there. He's no longer a monkey dinner like in Indiana Jones. It's not the Indy Jones table. It's Simpsons table. So no monkey heads. Now because of those side edges, we're going to have to scale these down. So we're going to scale down the x-axis only. I go to 0.95. Try that first. Okay, try that and see how it looks. Might have probably will have to do that again. Yeah, it's still there and here, so we bring it down again. Do it again. 0.95. Scale only the x-axis. Again. Okay. Try it. Have a look. Okay, just a little more. Okay, do it again. Scale. Whoops. Nope. Don't do that. Scale. 0.98. Let's try that. Whoops. Not square scaling. Apply that. Okay. Let's do it again. This will probably be it. If it isn't, it's just marginal. It'll be enough. Yeah. That's a little too much on that side. Okay. All right. One more, and that's it. 0.98 again. Apply. Okay, play. As long as it's inside the rails, but not, you still want that texture to have an effect on the rails, it'll be fine. Yeah, there we go. No more nonsense. Okay, so the lighting is decent. It's not super dark, but once the system lights turn on, it looks better. Now we have to adjust all the. To do that, I have to play the game, see what the flashers are like. See, that was way too intense. I can tell already. Yeah, no, we're gonna have to adjust all the global lighting. So, and that's normal. That's part and parcel of doing this. So let's go do that. Okay, let's find where the GIs are. Okay, so this I never touch. Even when I'm gonna do the day and night, I don't touch table lights. They're too small, and so they would probably diminish to nothing when you upscale the light intensity. So I don't touch those. I only touch global lights, GI lights, and flashers. Well, there they are, flashers. Now I did mess around here, so I'm just going to undo something here. This wasn't like this. It's because I won't go into explaining why, but scale these down because they weren't like that. There, they were like that. Okay. So made them look worse than they were, but it doesn't matter. This is what they would look like originally. It's because I hadn't made an error and I undid everything, but I forgot to undo that. Okay, so you didn't see that. That didn't happen. Okay. So we're going to do the GIs first, and the first thing I'm going to do with the GIs is I always adjust the depth bias, so I'm going to do that, and that'll be right across the board. And that should do for now, the GI, and now we're going to do the flashers. Let's see if there's anything else. I don't think so. What is this? That's, okay, it's a shadow map. Okay, sometimes it's in a flasher, but I don't touch the shadow maps. Okay, so now we're going to adjust these guys, and you can, with the depth bias like that, it's going to have a major impact on the quality of the light. So I'm going to totally adjust these. I'm going to give them at least minus 300 depth bias right across the board, and let's go see what they look like. The reason I do that is just it blends better into the table rather than being, you know, this obnoxious glowing light. It just integrates better into the table and is visually more appealing. I saw that bloom there. Yeah, that's still too intense, but we're going to be doing other things. This is, we're going to adjust them so that, oh yeah, no, that's not acceptable. Yeah, they're still too obvious. Yeah, okay, so I'm not going to waste time. What we're going to do now is we're going to actually make these lights bigger. Yep. We're going to reverse what I just didn't undo. You didn't see that, right? Remember? Yeah, XY. So we're going to scale those up. Scale 0.9. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to resize them first. So what we're going to see what 250 gives. No, we're going to go up to 300. Yeah, 300. So now we'll scale them, and we at least know where to stop. 0.95. Well, that's not going to increase. 1.1. And bring it up. And if that'll be over. No, it's right on the money. Oh, oops. Do that again. I accidentally hit cancel or OK. No, it could have been OK. Must have been cancel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. But what we're going to do here is this value is too low for this type of intensity, and these colors match, which means that's another issue that I would deal with normally. I don't like flashers that have the same intensity on each full value and the diminished value. It just makes this big blob, and so we're going to fix that. Do the reds. We're going to bring the red up a little at the full value, like that. And now we're going to do these oranges. Wait a minute, they're different a little bit. Yeah, he must have done it. It must have been done individually, and so it's going to give me an approximation there like that. And these guys are different, so that's okay. These are good. And then we're going to take this. You can see he set the fall-off power to 2. We're going to bring it way up higher than that. And that way there's like a merge between the flasher and the background. So we're going to bring that up to 5. No matter what the intensity is, they're flashers, so they're going to be intense. So let's try that and see what happens. So now there'll be a peak right in the center of the flasher, and then they'll slowly blend into the background by diminishing their intensity. Okay, so let's do it. Okay. Oh, no money. Put money in there. See what they look like. It's a little better. I could change the shape so that it doesn't go outside the table. These are additive. If I put an overlay, they would clip at the edge of the table, probably. I think, yeah. Or is that just flashers that do that? Maybe it's just flashers that do that. Yes, we've seen that one. We see the reds. Let's go. Give me the red one. There we go. Okay. Yeah, that's a little better. Yeah, that's not too bad. That's better than before, anyway. You know, it's less apparent. That one's definitely okay. Some are... I'm not happy with all of them, but I'm certainly a lot happier than originally. You can see how this flasher now had to actually... The center was kind of white, and then became red as it progressed, and then faded into the scene. So yeah, okay, I'm going to keep those like that, and so now we're going to move on. We've adjusted the table as much as I want to adjust it before we move on to, I'm just going to check how big this file is getting. That's not the one. This one. Yeah, okay. Oh, it doesn't show it. Refresh the screen. Okay, 17 gig. Okay, all right, we're good. Now we're going to move on to the backglass and do the flash lamps behind the backglass. That's nice. That's super simple. You insert a flasher, you change its texture. We're going to go to the glow trance. Glow trance. Now, the error I did, anyway, I did an error and I didn't have these two textures the same. And actually, I'll just show you what happened. I accidentally picked the texture beside it, or maybe scrolled the mouse. You can see if I scroll the mouse, the value changes. Anyway, I didn't have a glow trance. I had def horrors, and so let me just scale this up. Bring it up to 3. Yes. Okay. So that was there. Now it looks normal, right, in the editor, but it's actually not. That's because image B, they don't render image B. They only render image A. And so I'm just gonna. Oh man, to do that, I would have to. Okay, what I'll do is I'll reproduce the same error. How's that? Okay, so this is solenoid. I have the solenoid info here on the sheet. That's solenoid 32. So I give my names the solenoid value when it's that, or a light value. That'll do for that. Actually, maybe it's a little bigger scale. 1.5. Yeah. All right. So we're going to control C, control V, and it's going to copy obviously the same error over and over, but it's going to be easy to rectify that. Especially now that I know, because it took me like 10 minutes to try to find that error originally when I did it. Okay, that's going to be Sol 31. So Sol number 31. Okay, so copy this. Control C, Control V. This is going to be solenoid 8. There's that. Now we're going to C, Control V again, and put this over here. We're going to bring this down like that. Make it a little wider instead. Like this. Now I know I'm making messy here. You know, I normally keep everything nice and square. But, you know, I don't want to waste your time with boring stuff. Okay, so that's going to go there. So that's solenoid 10. So 10, so put that. And then 2 small ones, so we're going to copy this guy and scale him down. Really scale it down. Actually, instead of scaling them, it's just the ray. I want a light for the ray, so I'm going to really squish it. And I'm going to put this here. That's going to be solenoid 18. And this is going to be solenoid 17. So 17, okay. And we're going to rotate these, so I'm going to remove this rotation here. That gets adjusted anyway with the script, but the other one doesn't, the Z. So I think it's a Z. Let's put it 45. And this 45. I don't need to remove this one because it gets actually modified in the script. So that way they'll follow the array. It's actually a little more than 45, maybe 50. Make it 50. Yeah, 50. Definitely more than 45. So let's see if I draw a line. It's almost, but it's just a little above, so it's maybe 50. All right, so let's save this work. We're going to lock those textures in. Lock that. Oops, I unlocked everything. Yeah, that happens. Okay. All right. So there we go. We got those lights. Now we actually go into the script and we modify that function that we that I mentioned yesterday. We're going to comment in the center graphics function, and we're going to populate the array with those flashers. So 32, copy, paste, and I'll keep them all nice and in order. So 31, I'll go behind him, that, and then there's salt 8. That's the first, and then there is salt 10. So that goes here, and the other two, 17 and 18. Make sure, yes, 17 and 18. So I'll do 2 here, 1, comma, 2, comma, and renames 18, first 18 to 17. So there we are. That's there. That's in there, but that's not. We're not done yet. We still have to adjust the Z scale, and so we're going to go see what that is. I'm pretty sure it's 1 here for this one. Okay, but if it was 1.1 or 1.2, you would have to change these values. They're not exactly the same. So this is, if it was 1.2, I would set it to 0.19. If it's 1.1, I would set it to 0.09. Here it's 1.0, so I do this. And that's so that, in this case, I won't have to use the fudge factor. But if it was any other value than 1.0, I would have to use this fudge factor to translate up or down those graphics into the right place. But since they are just blobs, it's a blob, it's not an accurate, like if it was a cutout of Bart's face, because I just wanted the exact shape of his face to be highlighted, then they would have to match, and so you would have to adjust this Y fudge factor to cause all the textures to translate up or down, and it has no effect. It's only the Z scale in under backdrop that is the issue. X and Y offset has no impact. It's just the Z scale, and what it does is it textures don't, even though I position in the right place, there's still, I don't know what them. I don't know what it is about Visual Pinball and the Z scale. I haven't really looked into it, but so I just wrote a function that I can easily modify and fix the problem. Once it's fixed, it stays fixed, and you don't have to adjust the X values, only the Z. So once we do that, then we have to plug in. Okay, so that will stay, like I said, the Z scale will stay to that setting. But otherwise, if it was different, you would have to modify it, and you have to modify these. There's no choice. You have to put the X and X minimum, X maximum, and the Y minimum, Y maximum. So this is for the minimum, and this is for the maximum values. So the minimum. Let's do the X stuff. So we don't need to. It doesn't need to be super accurate, just close enough. So it is here. You're going to see your cursor position. So you put your cursor near there, near the edge, and it's 139, 140. So 140 by 1064. 140 by 1064. So minimum 140, maximum 1064. And you make sure you plug that into the X's, not the Y's. So now we're going to do the Y value. And so the Y value is 92, 94. Like I said, approximate 94 by 994. 94 by 994. Okay, so plug in 94 by 994. Make sure that, yeah. Okay, so there's that. That's done. So now it should work. We're going to run it, and you're going to see that there's going to be a glitch here because we intentionally added that glitch. Just in case you run into this problem, you won't have to search for 10 minutes to find out what your problem is. You'll see the result, and there's no result. No. Oh, I know what happened. I didn't include the call. Yes, I did. What the? Okay. Did I? They're all there. Now we're having another issue. They should all be lit. Oh, whoops. That's the other thing I didn't change back. Okay. All right. So I've turned them all on because it's in the script here for testing. I turned them off. Now we'll turn them off. Now they're all turned on. We'll see the result. And they'll have that glitch. Do they have the glitch? I still don't see them. What the heck? What? Since I'm using the depth, or maybe it was depth vertical. Not sure now. Are they on though? Let me try. They don't look on. Is there something wrong with the values? No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. It is turned on. Let me just have a look here. Hold on. Wow, I had a problem the first time I made the video, and now I have a problem again. Yeah, they're definitely not on. What is going on? And they're visible. Additive, blah, blah, blah. Everything's fine here. Now I have another problem. Come on, what is this? I'm just going to do something. I'm going to turn them way up. That way, I know they're on or off. Yeah. Oh, duh. Of course. Yeah, I know what the problem is. The depth bias. Okay. All right. When, yeah. That's an issue with depth bias. It's funny, I didn't think, see, now we have that glitch. You see, we see the edges, and that's because we don't have the proper texture in the back. So we're going to fix that. We're going to fix all the problems. I'm just going to quickly change to the proper texture. Now they're just going to be over bright, but they're going to be proper now. Yeah, so that's fine. Perfect. Yeah, it was the bias there. When a texture that you're adding additive or overlay falls below the midpoint of a texture that you're layering it on top of, as soon as it passes the midpoint, it starts to disappear. So you can see this one will glow, but that one doesn't. Okay, and I'll just show you that again. I'll just bring back the depth bias back to 0. You'll notice that these textures are functioning, but all these textures whose midpoint passes below the midpoint here, below the texture, don't work, no matter how intense you make them. There is a trick. There is a workaround. There's actually a few workarounds, but I'm just not going to bother. I used to do the workaround, and I just got sick and tired of doing it. This one must be right on the cusp of the center line, so that's why it's functioning. These two are all three are functioning, but obviously these are below. I'll just show you. I'll make this one fail. I'll grab. It's this one. See, it's just on the cusp. So if I'll unlock that and I'll drag it just below the line, you'll see that it no longer works. Just below the midpoint of that texture, the background texture. Oh yeah, just do it on purpose. Okay, I'll drop it even more. You're doing that on purpose now. Maybe it's because that's one part of the fixes is if, but you know, you can clearly see that this one's not working, and they're pretty well at the same. But the fact that there's two side by side here, will have they have an effect on each other, and so they sort of cancel out that glitch. And so the only workaround is, oh, it doesn't work because I have the bias on. See, this is 0 bias, and this should be 0 as well. But I'll show you that even with 0, I should be doing the reverse. Okay, I'll just have these two below the midpoint, and I'll show you that they'll fail here. They won't do what you expect them to do, even though I have them dragged to 1,000. Here you go, they're not functioning. And now we'll drag them just above the, just above or equal to that, and they'll both work. I accidentally had them both selected there. I'll just drag them just above the midpoint. That's where now they'll work. And if I drag them just below, they would fail. Just showing you, and see, now they work. So it's one of those things, and the only workaround is depth bias. And so I give them just all the same values of that depth bias, at least minus 500. You're going to see that. I have to deal with that also in SS solid state displays. Same problem. So also I'm going to drag those values back to normal, to 100 here. So I hope I'm not confusing this tutorial. I just wanted to show you that glitch while we're on this subject, because you'll run into it, and if you run into it, then you won't know what to do, and it's a big pain. And then you might come up with some other idea, and the solution is simple. It's just a depth bias, and you might as well avoid all the pitfalls that I had to deal with. So now they'll be set. Now this video is getting really huge again, which I don't want. Okay, so all the lights are on. Perfect. Now I could individually turn them off here. I won't. I'm just going to use the script here. Now they'll be all off, because I'm going to add now, attach them to the solenoid driver. Let's see where we're at here. Okay, no, we're so good. That's good. Okay, 37. Yeah, we're getting close. Okay, I got to hurry up. Now we're going to attach these to the solenoid. So we're going to grab these here. And I know the solenoids are up top. My God, I know that already. And I know what to do already, so I'm going to do it real quick. So I'm just going to put these here for reference there. I know Sol 8 is the Homer one, so I'll just grab that. Find Homer. Come here, Homer. Edit. Find that. Quickly, quick. All right, so let's throw that in there. Period visible equals 1. And it's as simple as that. Now it's on, and here it's off. I don't know why he has it on there, but anyway. Head timer on. Okay, anyway, doesn't matter. It's not my problem. Okay, so that one's done. And now we're going to do the 3, and the 3 are just, I'm going to make 3 functions. I'm going to remove this. Bang, bang. There we go. And I'm going to solve, I think it's 18 or 10. So 10, 17, and 18. I know they don't exist. I'm going to have to create them. So I'm just going to create the function first. Actually, plug this into and copy paste that. Period visible equals 1. And then off. 0. So then it's on and it's off. So 10. So it's done. But we're going to copy paste, do the other 2. 1, 2. And change just the numbers. So we got 17 here, 17 here, 17 here, 18 here, 18, yes, 18. Where's my mouse? 18, 18, 18. So they're done. So I can remove these. Boom. Those. So 31 and 32 are actually set lamps, so I'm actually going to bring that in the update lamp routine. Oh, wait. so I need to do sol 10. So we're gonna make that 10 and 17 and 18, 17, 18. So 10. Do that. Sol 10. 18, 17, 18. 17, 18. 17, 18, and set these so that they actually get called. All right, so they're done. So sol 10, sol 17, sol 18 are now enabled, and this should turn on and off, and it all looks good. So let's cut and paste our lights here. We're going to go down to the update lamp routine. Find that. There we go. Update lamps. Find 131 and 132. There they are. So cut, paste this guy up here. All right. So now we have to extend this so that it doesn't ignore our lights. And flash. Whoops. No. 132, comma, then the object, same thing. Cut and paste. Cut and paste is lovely. Gotta love cut and paste. 1/131, and there they are. All the lights are enabled. Let's run a test. F5, and the routine is turning them all off, so they'll be off by default. Okay, let's do this. And then we're going to be done probably, I think. I am keeping it coming. Come on, man. Let's do it. Zip it, old man. Okay, let's have a look here, see if we get the flashers going. I don't know what triggers. Oh, yeah, there it is. The Homer one did. Whoops, yeah, turned off. So, you know, time will tell if all of them are properly functioning. Come on, man. Do something. Okay, another lid again. I just don't know if probably have to smack Bart there, mini multi-ball. Smack Bart there. Get Bart working. I just saw the smokestacks nuclear plant light up. Yeah, Homer. Anyway, it's a good test. That's it. We're done for this tutorial. Again, thanks for watching. If you like these tutorials, like them. Hey, a little bit of YouTube, stuff. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was useful. And the next video is the day and night. And thanks for watching.